Hello, sorry, I have my mic muted again, but hello, welcome back everyone to the Hold for Hold Pro Wrestling channel. I'm your host, your brother Jaime, and today we have a pretty huge night. We had a supersized SmackDown to talk about tonight. AEW Rampage is still going on as we record this. I will be giving my full review on AEW Rampage tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I wanted to give it my full attention because, I mean, come on, Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki are facing off. I want to be able to pay attention, see all the story beats in that match. So for tonight, we're gonna stick with SmackDown, and honestly, SmackDown delivered tonight with this Super Show. I had kind of low expectations. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like Raw put me in kind of a bad place for wrestling to start off the week, and then to have no Dynamite on Wednesday. There was no palate cleanser essentially, so I didn't come into this with the best expectations, but I actually thought it was a pretty decent show. They did some really good wrestling, and that's what I really, really love from my pro wrestling, surprisingly, is when they give wrestlers time to have good matches, and I think they did that really well tonight. Um, it did lull just a bit, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But before we talk about anything too specific, let's get these YouTube plugs out the way. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Hold for Hold. Just try to help the channel grow. Give a little help, please and thank you. But anyways, you guys, like I said, this was a stacked show. I highly recommend, if you didn't watch, to go and check out at least a couple of these matches that we're going to talk about, because I thought they actually had some of the best TV matches of the year tonight, and we're going to talk about those in greater depth here. But let's talk about a promo that I'm possibly going to call promo of the year for me. I really enjoyed this. It started off the show with "You Think You Know Me." Edge. Edge started off the show tonight. He gives a very intense, very impassioned promo, very moody. They turned the house lights all the way down for it. Just a single spotlight on Edge. I really like that setup. He's wearing this like flagrant red suede jacket that just stands out, and it really adds to this promo as we get into the direct quotes, because I did write a lot of it down. So he starts off by saying that this feud with Seth Rollins all started 7 years ago when he tried to use his name as a stepping stone to notoriety. It's gone far past that now. He says, "Beating me wasn't enough. You got greedy. You called my bluff. I came here and you came to my home. Not my house, my home. I should have seen it coming. Remember years ago when I slapped Cena's dad," which I really popped for because I do remember that. He said, "Here's the thing. I underestimated you. You and I are so much alike that when we see our mistakes, we capitalize on them. You are one of the closest guys to matching my intensity and my passion in this ring. Yeah, now you were Edge Light, but now I can admit that you've grown into your own man and you are Seth freaking Rollins. Because of that, I will have to end this. If we don't end this, our families could get hurt. I could return the favor and invade your home and have a choice interaction with Bex. You said you felt sorry for me, and that was a mistake. You never feel bad for a devil like us. I will finish this and have no regrets about it. In Hell in a Cell, I'm going to scar your soul." Like I said, I might not have given it the most justice because obviously I'm not grizzled as Edge, but it was really good, you guys. It flew by. Crowd was really into it. He had them in the palm of his hands. This might be when you're looking back at the career of Edge, this might be a promo that I would recommend to be like a career defining promo. I really enjoyed this, and I think he put a lot into it. And Seth Rollins was watching in the back, doing the awkward, like, TV right there. I'm watching it over here. Really awkward stance. That's the only bit I can critique as like not good. Like, stop doing that, because it killed the mood every time they would flash to him. But overall, I still think they did a great job with this promo, and it was just, definitely check it out if you have the time. From there, follow it up with a banger match as Finn Balor takes on Sami Zayn in the King of the Ring semifinals. Before the match, each man gets a promo. Balor goes first. He says he plans on becoming king and shutting up Sami once and for all. Sammy's promo is a little more dramatic. He says that this is like a fairy tale. The guy who's been pushed around and oppressed is going to become king. Both just good promos to start off the bit, not too long. We get some wrist locks to start. Sammy says that Finn is pulling his hair when he very clearly is not pulling his hair, and it made me laugh a lot. We get some good commentary from McAfee. He says if Sammy becomes king, the royal family's approval rating will plummet. I just knew it. Finn sends Sammy to the outside and hits that gorgeous senton plancha that he always hits. We go to commercial. We come back. We have some striking back and forth that crescendos with a no-look Pele kick from Finn. Like I said, this match is a banger. Definitely go ahead and watch it. Finn hits a shotgun drop kick, or no, sorry. Finn hits a regular drop kick to Sami Zayn, who was flying off the top rope. So out of midair, he hits a drop kick. Sami reverses out of that neck breaker that Finn likes to do into a blue thunder bomb for 2. Sami hits the corner exploder suplex and looks for a haluva kick, but Balor avoids it. He goes up top but gets caught. Sami goes for a roll up with his feet on the ropes, but the referee catches him and tells him to stop because that's not what you're supposed to do. Sami comes back, but he does eat a shotgun drop kick. Finn looks for the coup de grace, misses. Sami rolls him up for 2. And we head into the finish as we get 2 more shotgun drop kicks in 2 corners. And Finn hits the coup de grace for 3. Just a really fun match. The crowd was very much into this. Really great storytelling, obviously, because you have Finn Balor and Sami Zayn, and they gave this match time. It must have been at least 20 minutes, bell to bell. And it felt great. It felt well paced. These two just know how to tell a really good story in that ring. And I think the right outcome came to be as Finn Balor is moving up to the finals. Now, will they do the right thing and have Xavier Woods meet him there? That's to be seen. After Raw, I kinda don't have any hopes that they're gonna make the right decision. I kinda think it's gonna be Finn Jinder in the finals, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jinder wins it. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. It's not the right call, but I wouldn't be surprised. Talk about surprises here. We had Naomi's scheduled match with Sonya Deville. Naomi comes out into the ring, but during her entrance, they show a little promo of her backstage. Said that Sonya has taken her time and patience. She's going to get her revenge tonight. In true WWE fashion, though, Naomi's in the ring. Sonya walks out in a full suit, no ring gear to be seen. She says that you shouldn't have walked out of my office so fast before I was able to tell you that this is a handicap match. So she brings out her partner for tonight, Shayna Baszler, which I had mixed feelings about when it first happened, but let's just talk about the match itself. They get in the ring. Sonya tells the referee, this is not a typical handicap match. There will be no tagging in and out. It's going to be like a tornado style tag match, which I actually really like that aspect of it because it made it more chaotic, made it feel like more of a brawl. And Sonya technically did get physical in this match. Naomi kind of like tries to kick off Baszler so she can get her attention to Sonya. But every time she does that, Sonya like hits her with a knee or just gets the upper hand because the numbers advantage is too much. Eventually, though, Sonya instructs Shayna to choke out Naomi. She does, and Sonya pins Naomi with her boot to win. I like the storytelling. I really enjoyed the tornado style match. I think that kind of saved the segment for me because if it would have been a typical, like, Shayna Baszler comes out and acts as the enforcer or, the handicap rules where Sonya just stays on the apron the entire time, which would have not helped this segment. I think the fact that they still got physical and it was chaotic, it was fast, it was a good segment, and I have faith that we're gonna see Naomi get her comeuppance against Sonya. So they're building this up more and more, and I am excited to see where this goes. I really want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I really want to hope that they're gonna get this story right, and as of now, I think they are getting it right. So let's focus on the present. This is a pretty good story, and can't wait for Naomi and Sonya to have a one-on-one match. Following that, we have a Sasha Banks promo. She says that when people have I was going to talk about this a little bit. This promo bit is kind of annoying because Seth Rollins makes his entrance before this promo airs. So Seth Rollins makes his entrance to the ring. We go to commercial. We come back. We get a Sasha Banks promo. And that whole trope of like having someone come out, then we go to commercial for like 3 minutes, and then we have a promo. Like having that wrestler in the ring for like 5 full minutes of nothing is just so weird to me. I hate that pacing. But anyways, Seth Rollins makes his entrance. We get a Sasha Banks promo after a commercial break. She says that making history is nothing new to her, and she doesn't need to come back to win her title, but she did need to come back to right some wrongs, and she's ready to conquer the women's division. And it starts with taking back that SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, pretty decent promo. It's just like a weird placement of that type of promo, and I've been noticing it a lot that WWE loves to do that. And it's just like it's random. Anyways, Seth Rollins is in the ring. He's in full Harley Quinn suit mode. It's a checkerboard mess. He's doing like hyena laughs every now and then. But he has a pretty good promo as well. He says that Edge really tried to convince all of you that he has any chance against me. That is a great joke. Let's just set the record straight. I'm in no way intimidated to face him in Hell in a Cell. You know why? Because Hell already froze over. He admitted I'm not Edge Light. He has finally accepted that I'm better than him in every possible way. And I'm walking into this match with a mental and physical advantage. There's no way Edge is 100%. At this point, Harley Quinn chants break out, and it's kind of forced. Like, the crowd didn't need to do this because I actually thought the promo was going at a decent pace. Following that, though, he says Edge is right about us being demons and cut from the same cloth, but the difference is I've spent more time in that cell than Edge ever has, and I've been scarred by that cell, and it's made me the man I am today. Really good promo, obviously kind of referencing the Fiend match he had. I believe Rollins has had only the Fiend match and the match with Kevin Owens in the Hell in a Cell, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, if you know, correct me down below, but I believe those are his only 2 matches, which I would kind of say it's comparable to Edge's Hell in a Cell match because Edge took on The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. He got put through the ring, through tables on the outside. So I don't know. I kind of thought that was an equal comparison, but I did like the reference to the history of Seth Rollins like losing his mind in Hell in a Cell because obviously the story with that Fiend match was that he snapped and hit the Fiend with a mallet. But as silly as that was, it does kind of, in hindsight, it does build to this and it gives like more motivation for his psyche and his confidence. So I enjoyed it. I am really this card is just stacking up to be a really good show, and I don't know if I'm going to be covering or not. I didn't plan on covering any of the Saudi Arabia shows for the obvious like moral implications of covering these shows. So I would love to know down below what you guys think because yeah, this card looks great, and if I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna cover it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's also on a Thursday, so I don't know. But anyways, getting off topic here. Queen's Crown match, another semifinal match. It's Zelina Vega versus Carmella. They're backstage to begin it. Zelina comes up to Carmella and says that they're glad they're facing off so they can finally so she can finally beat the best in this competition. She says she's looking to go out there and have a clean match. And so she tells Carmella, you don't need to worry about wearing your mask tonight. I'm not going to try and break your face. Then Carmella's like, oh, okay. And so she goes out there and she doesn't put on her mask. She tells her hairdresser people, I don't need it tonight. Thank you guys. We get some sportsmanship to start off the match. So a lot of back and forth roll-ups to start it off. They shake hands at one point, I'm pretty sure, or at least like fist bump. Vega flips out of a wrist lock, but then eats a super kick from Carmella, and Carmella starts apologizing. She's like, no, I didn't mean to do that. It was force of habit, which I really enjoyed that bit. That makes Zelina snap. She hits a loop desk press and starts pounding away at Carmella's face. This is when Carmella rolls out the ring, goes for her mask. She tells the ladies to put the mask on, but Liv Morgan is holding the mask, doesn't let her have it. She rolls Carmella into the ring. Zelina rolls up Carmella for 3. Again, it's a pretty short match. I wouldn't say it's not a banger, obviously, because it's so short, but I did really enjoy the story that they were able to tell in this match. I liked the character work between Carmella and Zelina. that was very genuine, even for their like partnership that honestly I never really bought. I thought this is actually the best they've sold their partnership in their, kind of breaking up. So yeah, pretty decent. Just wish they had more time. And speaking of time that I wish could have been given to those women, we had Happy Talk with Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss. I think by this point, you all know how I feel about these Happy Talk segments. I think so. The biggest issue with this segment, first of all, is that it accomplishes nothing. I wrote no notes for what they said because it was just absolute filler. They speak a whole lot of nothing. Rick Boogs comes out and interrupts. They jam to Nakamura's theme, right? They go around the ring. They just jam, 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 and they go all the way back up the ramp. And then the Street Profits come out, and then we're told that it's about to be the Street Profits versus the Usos. So not only did they fill time with this segment, they did absolutely nothing. There was no words exchanged between Boogs and Nakamura. There was nothing. There was nothing to reason for this segment other than to have Rick Boogs play the guitar. It's just a waste of time. It's time that they could have gave the women's match, and it's not helping anyone. And I really am sad about it because I really thought, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I really thought that Rick Moss and Baron Corbin would be a good pairing if they can give him some deep storytelling like they were doing with Baron Corbin's Down on His Luck character. And I would even be into a Rick Moss, Baron Corbin, Nakamura, Boogs tag, like a tag match situation, like a feud between them, right? I'd be totally in for it if it had anything, if it wasn't so shallow. It's not even shallow. It's like the surface of a feud that they're going to try and shoehorn down our throats next week. So, yeah, this was definitely the lull of the entire thing. And it also, if I'm not wrong, it also lined up with them starting to overlap with Rampage. So, completely wrong way to do that. But from there, like I said, the Street Profits came out. They had their theme actually kind of like rifted by Boogs, which I thought was pretty cool for him to adjust on the fly like that. And then they come down the ring, and it's the Usos versus the Street Profits in a street fight for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And this match, honestly, was so good. This was possibly the best tag match I've seen this year. Possibly. I'm trying to think of another one that I liked as much as this. I don't know. Had a lot of good callbacks in this match. As it was a street fight, they had a lot of callbacks to like just ECW in general, which I really enjoy. So yeah, a really good match here. The only thing that I didn't like about the layout for this is that it was for the SmackDown tag team titles, which made it very predictable that the Street Profits weren't going to win. And the commentary did a great job of selling this match as like them burying the hatchet. This is their final chapter in their feud because the Street Profits are leaving. If that's the case, just have the match be non-title. If it was a non-title match, there'd be more doubt. There's more doubt that the Usos would lose. You know what I mean? But anyways, the Usos take control early on. They're isolating Dawkins. They get him on the outside. Montez sentons over the post to save his brother. Looked fantastic. He and Dawkins look at each other. Dawkins gives Ford a big slap and he says, "Get the tables." I pop for that. So they get a table out. They're holding it. They look like they're going to put it in the ring. But the Usos hit a stereo suicide dive onto them while they're holding that table. This sends us into the commercial break. We come back. Table's set up on the outside already. Dawkins is in the ring by himself. We get some kendo sticks from the Usos. They start swinging away at Dawkins. Nasty swings as well. Ford does come out on the top rope and hits a huge crossbody. And when I put these huge, like in my adjectives for Montez Ford, just imagine he went 10 feet in the air, because that's what it feels like. He legitimately launches himself like a cannon. So he goes all the way up, hits a nice crossbody, starts getting some strikes in on Jimmy, and hits a backhanded slap to Jimmy, which I absolutely love that. That's part of his arsenal. He then picks up a chair and hits a Van Daminator, guys. Oh, I love it. I never thought I would see a Van Daminator in WWE in 2021. Dawkins then pounces Jay onto Ford, who like catches Jay and hits a back suplex. I thought that was a really fun spot there. And then it's payback time. Dawkins takes the kendo sticks and starts swinging away on Jay. They look for a doomsday device, but Jimmy saves his brother, and they give Ford a double super kick. Montez gets the frog splash, and he does the frog splash, turns in midair, so he just completely 180s the frog splash, right? And nails it, but gets pulled off right before they can get 3 count. Jay pulls him out of the ring, right? And so he grabs him, Iranagi to Ford through that table that they set up. This sets up into the finish as Dawkins is once again alone in the ring, and he eats a double super kick, just sandwiches him like ear to ear with feet. And then we get 2 splashes for the win. Just a really good match. Probably my match of the night, even though the Sasha Banks Becky match was really good. This one, just like in terms of a fun, breathable, and like, man, you can't get the Usos in a street fight is just so good. It's their stipulation, to be honest. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. If you watch no other match from tonight, that's the one to watch. From there, we have a Becky Lynch promo. She says Sasha wants to talk about greatness. Greatness is kicking down the door. Greatness is having a baby, returning and winning the title in record time. And greatness is defeating Sasha Banks tonight. So just good little callback. I thought it was fine. From there, we have Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. Of course, they call this a championship contenders match. No, it's not. It's literally not. Uh, Bianca comes out before the match can start. She gets on commentary, so she has some pretty good bits with Michael Cole. It felt like it was mostly her and Cole talking. And for a period of this match, she goes quiet because I think the match is just so good that she's just watching it. And they even like, I think they even referenced it. I didn't hear it fully, but I could have swore he said Michael Cole was like, she's doing some studying right now, like making sure to keep it involved and making kayfabe like, oh, she's not talking because she wants to pay attention to how they're wrestling, so she can go into Crown Jewel with a game plan, whatever. I thought it was really good. I think this match definitely was a banger. Don't get me wrong, it was a banger. But it just sucks because it's kind of for nothing, It's kind of a nothing match. Like no stakes are really on the line, and it kind of just casts doubt on Sasha's chances at Crown Jewel. So I really don't know. Which again, I talked about this during my draft, and now we're pretty much here. I don't know what they're gonna do with the women's championships. It was announced that uh, Charlotte Flair will be defending her championship on Monday against Bianca, and I mean, I don't see Bianca winning it. I could be off base here, but I kind of see Charlotte and Becky holding their titles until some Survivor Series. And I really wouldn't be surprised if they unified the titles since they've been making so many references toward it. Normally, I know this has been talked about a lot for the last couple of years, pretty much since they did the brand split about unifying those titles. Normally, I was very much against the idea, but seeing how the divisions are really so good when they are intertwined like this, when you have Banks, Bianca, Charlotte, and Becky all interacting with each other. And then if we get Bayley back, like throwing her in that mix, I kind of do want the unified titles. And I kind of think the same stands for the men's division, but the men's division is tougher because Roman needs to have a long reign, and if he does, it's going to come at the expense of people like Big E and Drew. So I guess maybe it's just not the time for that unification. But I think the women's division could have a really good unification because it's like, it almost feels like the Attitude Era. Like you have legit stars that can take the title at any moment, and I'd be really excited to see any of these women like interact. You know what I mean? Anyways, though, that was a big old tangent. Just like I really just want to know what they're gonna do with these women's titles. But anyways, we have a really fun start to this match. Sasha loses the advantage pretty early on after she misses a meteora on the apron and her knees collide with the post. Pretty rough looking spot. Sasha is able to come back though. She hits the three amigos for 2. Becky gets her into the corner and locks in like a nasty disarmor variation using like the turnbuckle post. It was rough, but I love that spot. It kind of reminds me of I believe Kenta does, like, or maybe it's Danielson, where they'll like do like a draping cross arm breaker. Like they'll put their weight on it. I really enjoy that. So yeah, we get that. Becky then hits a flying leg drop onto a draping Sasha Banks for 2, which was a great spot there. Sasha is able to get 3 Meteoras, one on the post, the original one she was looking for, one in the corner, and finally she climbs the top rope and hits a Meteora from the top for 2. Fantastic sequence there. Really just bam, bam, bam. She looks for the bank statement, but Becky fights her off. She does hit the backstabber, but that sends Becky to the outside. Banks looks for, so Becky's on the apron. Banks looks for a sunset flip, but Becky counters it with a leg drop that absolutely sandwiches Sasha's like neck onto the apron. It looked rough. It looked very rough. Becky gets caught in the bank statement on the outside though, and she taps out on the outside, which of course doesn't count. Sasha then rolls her in to the ring, hits a pretty frog splash for 2. Becky looks to make a comeback, but Sasha meets her up top, meets her in the corner with some double knees. She goes for it a second time, but Becky actually catches her, deadlifts her, and exploder suplex into the corner. And then we get a really good sequence here as Becky shoves Banks into Bianca. And she goes to hit Banks, but she hits Bianca instead. Banks then nails a knee from the announce table. It happens so fast. I don't even know how Sasha Banks got on the announce table and hit the knee off of it. Like, I don't know how she did that so fast. Back in the ring, Sasha escapes a manhandle slam attempt into like a roll up. That gets her 2. She then locks in the bank statement, but Becky's able to get to the ropes. She gets to the ropes. She's in the ropes, kind of like trying to get the referee to get away from her. And Bianca whips her like over the head with her hair. This gives Sasha Banks an opening to hit the backstabber for the win. I saw that on Twitter that this is Becky Lynch's first loss in 2 years. And I mean, I'm glad for Sasha. I thought this match was, again, a lot of fun, a really great match. Sasha definitely, held her own in this. I honestly think this is my favorite match between the two of them, of like, as them in the ring. I know their Hell in a Cell was really praised, but I wasn't really that big into it. This is definitely the match I would consider their best. And yeah, the finish came out of nowhere. I was excited for it. It's just, I wish it meant something, It doesn't really mean much. Anyways, they're rushed out of the ring. No one gets to celebrate as Adam Pearce is rushing his crew to set up the table and chairs for Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar's contract signing. And he's being kind of rude about it, to be honest. But his hustle did work because they ended the show 2 minutes early. So anyways, Roman Reigns makes his way to the ring. Brock Lesnar makes his way to the ring. Roman is at the head of the table, of course, standing up. He looks at the contract and he gives it to Heyman and has him review it for him, which I think is a little bit of storytelling there, more so than what we're seeing right now. So let's just get to this right now. He tells him to review it. Heyman says it looks good. Tribal Chief, it's everything you asked for. So Roman signs it. They then hand the contract over to Brock. Brock doesn't even look at it, just signs his name just humongously over it, just probably all over the text. And Roman gets on the mic and he just says, "You must be some kind of dumbass. You just sit there and sign it without reading it." And Brock, which I love that line. And then Brock gets on the mic, very shortly says, "Roman, I already read the contract this morning with my advocate, Paul Heyman." And then he leaves. Very short, not what I expected from this contract signing. I, of course, expecting an F5 through a table or whatever, the normal chaos, if you will. But yeah, just very short and sweet, putting Paul Heyman again at the center of this feud. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens at Crown Jewel. I really don't know who's winning this match. And I like it. I like that I don't know. Of course, I'd rather see Roman retain because I think that Roman is the future. And I never liked Brock Lesnar's super long Universal title run. I never liked it. So I don't want to see that again. And I just don't think that he's going to do that again, really, like logistically. But you never know. You never know. It's Brock Lesnar. WWE loves Brock Lesnar. So, yeah, this great storytelling. I really think that bit, not only of him saying, that my advocate, Paul Heyman, read it for me this morning, I think that him not looking at the contract and having Heyman look at it instead, I think that's a nugget. I think that's going to be something at Crown Jewel that we're going to see, or we're going to see this kind of payout down the road. Maybe that is going to be the way Heyman's going to like weasel his way out of, the tribal chief's grasp. If it's not now, maybe who knows when The Rock shows up. I don't know. But I think that is something. I think that's a nugget that it's going to be explored later. But yeah, we ended this SmackDown with a good one-liner and a banger main event match with that Banks Becky Lynch match. And like I said, supersized SmackDown, it delivered. I think overall I would give this a 4 stars out of 5. The only reason I'm knocking it 1 star is because of that Happy Talk segment was just baffling, and just the no stakes involved in the Becky Lynch Bianca match, or Becky Lynch Sasha Banks match. Just no stakes really, so that kind of weighed that down. But other than that, I can't complain about much else. I'm really looking forward to see where this Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville story, Sonya Deville and Naomi story heads out. But yeah, guys, that was SmackDown. That was my review of SmackDown. If you got this far in the video, please make sure to leave a like. If you're not going to leave a like at this far, it's kind of rude of you. But anyways, you guys, have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.